Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on something that's all around us, this kind of invisible architecture of influence. We're talking about a powerful, super old system that shapes what you buy, who you vote for, and yeah, even what you believe.
So let's just start with a couple of quick questions. I bet these will sound familiar. You ever watch a commercial and just feel like, wow, it gets me? Like it's speaking right to your biggest hopes or maybe your deepest fears.
Or how about this one? You're listening to someone speak and you find yourself just nodding along. You're totally sold. Not because of the facts they've presented, but just because they seem so confident, so believable.
Well, guess what? Those reactions, they're not accidents. Not at all. They are completely engineered. There's this incredibly powerful blueprint for persuasion that's been around for, get this, over 2,000 years. And today, yeah, we're going to crack that code.
Okay, so let's get into it. The master key to all of this is something called Aristotle's rhetorical triangle. And what he figured out was that pretty much every persuasive argument is a mix of three things, three core appeals. One targets the speaker's character, another targets your emotions, and the last one, it targets your sense of logic.
So first up, we've got Ethos. You can think of this one as kind of the gatekeeper of persuasion. Why? Because look, if you don't trust the person talking, you're just not going to buy what they're selling, right? The message just won't land.
Ethos is all about character. It's about credibility. It's the thing that answers that little voice in the back of your head that's asking, okay, why should I even listen to you? It's all about seeming like an authority, like someone you can trust.
And what's really cool is that Aristotle broke it down even more. He said to have really strong ethos, you need three things. One, you got to show you know your stuff. That's the practical wisdom part. Two, you have to come across as a good moral person. And three, and this is a big one, you have to make the audience feel like you've got their back, that you have their best interests at heart.
But, and here's the catch, right? Ethos can also be a super powerful tool for deception. I mean, think about it. It's often way easier to just fake being credible, or even better, to just tear down your opponent's credibility, than it is to actually win a debate based on facts and logic.
The classic example of this is the ad hominem fallacy. You've seen this a million times. Instead of dealing with someone's actual argument, you just attack them personally. It's a dirty trick, a rhetorical shortcut that just moves the spotlight from the idea to the person. It's basically poisoning the well before anyone can even take a drink.
All right, moving on. Next up is, well, it's arguably the most powerful of the three, and maybe the most dangerous. We're talking about Pathos, the direct hotline to our emotions.
Pathos is literally the emotional engine of persuasion. Its whole job is to make you feel something. Joy, anger, fear, pity, pride, whatever it takes to forge this powerful connection with the message that kind of short-circuits your rational brain.
And man, the toolkit for this is huge. You can use humor to make a brand seem like your buddy, right? Or nostalgia to link a product with those good old days. On the flip side, you can use fear to make you act now, or a personal story to make some big, abstract issue suddenly feel incredibly real. Even just a tiny change in words, calling something a death tax instead of an estate tax, that's all pathos, designed to get a gut reaction from you.
Okay, so you've built trust with Ethos, you've tugged at the heartstrings with Pathos. What's left? Well, now it's time to appeal to the mind. It's time for logic, for logos.
Logos is all about making a logical case. It's the facts, the evidence, the step-by-step reasoning. But, and you got to get this is so important, it can also be just the illusion of logic. Just making something look logical and fact-based is often just as powerful as it actually being logical.
Now, a real solid logical argument has a clear structure. You can go deductive, that's starting with a big general rule and applying it to something specific, or you can go inductive, that's where you take a bunch of specific examples and build up to a general conclusion. But, just like the others, logic is super easy to manipulate. And one of the most common ways you see this, charts, data visualization. A chart can look so official, so scientific, while telling you a complete and total lie.
Okay, take a look at this. A company could show this chart to its investors and, wow, it looks like sales are exploding, right? It looks like massive growth. But all they did was chop off the bottom of the chart. That tiny little bump from 50 to 52 suddenly looks like a mountain.
But watch this. Now let's adjust the chart so it starts at 0 where it should. And poof, the massive growth is gone. You see the whole picture, and the change is tiny, almost nothing.
It's a perfect example of how easily data can be twisted to tell you whatever story someone wants you to hear.
Here's another sneaky tactic that pretends to be logical, the straw man fallacy. This is where, instead of fighting your opponent's real argument, you build a weaker, dumber version of it, a straw man, and then you heroically knock that down. It makes you look like you won, but you never even touched the real issue.
Okay, so we've got our new toolkit. We know about ethos, pathos, and logos. So let's put it to the test. Let's deconstruct a really famous real-world example and see how all three of these work together.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you know that song. It's haunted us for years, right? It's the theme song for those ASPCA commercials. And let me tell you, those ads are an absolute masterclass in how to persuade.
I mean, that ad is just a tidal wave of pathos. The music is slow and sad. You see these heartbreaking shots of animals looking miserable. Every single second is designed to make you feel an overwhelming sense of pity and, yeah, a little bit of guilt. Then they layer on the ethos by having Sarah McLachlan as the spokesperson. She comes across as so sincere, so trustworthy.
And then, right after they've got your heart in a vice grip, they come in with the logos. It's the final knockout punch. For just 60 cents a day. See what they did? They took this emotional urge and gave you a logical reason to act on it. It's just a little bit of math that makes the donation feel so small, so manageable, so completely logical. It turns feeling into doing.
So, here's the bottom line. Ethos, pathos, logos. These aren't just, dusty old terms from a textbook. They are the living, breathing, building blocks of nearly every single persuasive message you see every single day. Being able to spot them, to understand how they work, that's not just a skill. It's like a form of cognitive self-defense. It's a superpower for getting through the modern world. So the only question left is, now that you can see the code, now that you can see the invisible architecture, what are you going to do with it?